Hello dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Here is Naveed Ahmed Sahito once again before you with new topic. I am talking to the students of intermediate book 2. Here is exercise related to and very. Today we will study the difference in the usage of to and very. Very merely increases the force of the adjective or adverb that it qualifies. Very only increases the force of adjective or adverb that it qualifies, means very is limited. The force of very is limited but not unlimited. We have to understand it. And what about to? To normally carries the idea of excessiveness. This word we have to keep in our mind. Excessiveness, that is so great as to make something impossible. It means very carries the force of limitation. To carries the force of unlimitation, means unlimited. It means excessiveness, that is so great as to make something impossible. How we have to use very in English and to in English, we must know both are adverbs. Both are adverbs as well. To and very are adverbs. Here is example. Although he was very ill, he managed to write a letter. Here is very, usage of very. He could not write a letter, he was too ill. Now this is the difference we have to understand. बाबा पहिरियों असांखे इहो सम्झणो आहे त वेरी ऐं टू में फ़र्क़ु कहिड़ो आहे. सपोज आई से आई एम वेरी टायर्ड बट आई कैन टेक योर क्लास. आई एम वेरी टायर्ड बट आई कैन टेक योर क्लास. It means I have capacity to take your class. Where I am using very, it means I have capacity, I have force, I have potential to take your class. But if I use to, it means I have not capacity to take your class. Here is example before you. I am too ill, but I cannot take your class. That is the difference. And so, although he was very ill, जेतोणीकि हू तमामु घणो बीमार हुयो, he managed to write a letter. Managed to have the sense of could. इहो बाबा could जी मीनिंग ॾींदो आहे. जेतोणीकि हू तमामु घणो बीमार हुयो पर हू ख़त लिखी सघियो. ही ख़त लिखी सघियो. हाणे he could not write a letter, he was too ill. It means जॾहिं to इस्तेमालु थींदो त he further could not do something, he further cannot do something. That is the difference. Where we use very, it means there is no excessiveness, we can do something. Where we use to, it means we have excessiveness, we cannot do something more. That is the difference. यानी to असां उते यूज़ कंदासीं जिते excessiveness हूंदी. हाणे असां सिंधीअ में चवंदा आहियूं मां ॾाढो थकियलु आहियां, हाणे मां निंड करणु चाहियां थो, मां ॾाढो थकियलु आहियां, मां तव्हांजो क्लास नथो वठी सघां. त इंग्लिश में मां चवंदुमि आई एम टू इल टू टेक योर क्लास. इट मीन्स यू विल गेट दैट सर इज टू टायर्ड, ही कैन नॉट टेक मोर क्लास. बट व्हेन आई से आई एम वेरी टायर्ड टू टेक योर क्लास, इट मीन्स आई एम वेरी टायर्ड बट आई कैन टेक योर क्लास. देयर इज नो एक्सेसिवनेस. There is limited tiredness, limitations of tiredness. त जॾहिं असां वेरी इस्तेमालु कंदासीं त इन मां सम्झंदासीं इंग्लिश में त देयर इज़ कैपेसिटी टू डू समथिंग मोर बाय द सब्जेक्ट. When we use to, it means there is no capacity to do something more by the subject. That is the difference we have to keep in our mind. Here is another example. The car in front was going very fast, but we overtook it. हिन मां ई असां सम्झी वेंदासीं त कार असांजे अॻियां तमामु तेज़ीअ सां वञी रही हुई पर असां उन खां क्रॉस कयोसीं. वी ओवरटुक इट माना असां कार खां क्रॉस कयोसीं. इट कार खे रेफर थी करे. कार जे बदिरां प्रोनाउन इस्तेमालु थियो आहे। हाणे वेरी जे करे एक्सेसिवनेस आहे ई कोन, मेयरली फोर्स आहे, इंक्रीज़िस द फोर्स मेयरली। मेयरली वर्ड जो मतिलबु आहे ओनली, ओनली लिमिटेड फोर्स खे शो थो करे वेरी। त आल्दो यानी द कार इन फ्रंट वॉज गोइंग वेरी फास्ट बट वी ओवरटुक इट। हाणे इन खे असां चेंज कयूं टू में, द वी डिड नॉट ओवरटेक द कार इन फ्रंट, इट वॉज गोइंग टू फास्ट। It means where we use to, it means we cannot overtake car. Where we use very, it means we have capacity to overtake car. We suppose that we can overtake car. That is the difference. So further example, I am too full to eat this fruit. I am too ill to eat this fruit. It means I am too ill, full stop, I cannot eat this fruit. When I say I am very full to eat this fruit, it means I am very full but I can eat this food. But I can eat this fruit. There is capacity, that is why I can eat fruit. That is the difference. Number 3 example, there was a very large attendance at the lecture. There was too large attendance at the lecture. Here we have to understand, with very we can use a indefinite article, but with too we cannot use a indefinite article, a or n. If there was a too large, it will be incorrect. So there was too large attendance at the lecture. It means the hall was full, limited was over. That is why we say two. But here there was a very large attendance. It means more few students can admit at the hall. कुछ ॿिया शागिर्द वधीक अची सघनि पिया हाल में, तंहिंजे करे वेरी इस्तेमालु उते तॾहिं कयोसीं। गुंजाइश आहे, टू इस्तेमालु कयोसीं त गुंजाइश ई कोन्हे का हाणे हाल में अटेंडेंस फुल आहे। नोट नंबर 1 note here is further for explanation. The meaning of two in the last example, which shows that the speaker considered that the attendance was larger than was desirable. हाणे हिन नंबर 2 एग्जाम्पल में जंहिंमें टू इस्तेमालु थियो आहे, स्पीकर तॾहिं जो मतिलबु आहे चवण जो त देयर वॉज टू लार्ज अटेंडेंस एट द लेक्चर. इट मीन्स देयर वॉज नो फर्दर accommodation for anyone to enter the hall to attend the lecture. स्पीकर जो चवण जो मतिलबु आहे हाणे देयर वॉज टू लार्ज अटेंडेंस एट द लेक्चर, माना लेक्चर में तमामु ज़्यादा अटेंडेंस हुई, हद खां वधीक हुई, एक्सेसिवनेस हुई। हाणे हिकिड़े माण्हूअ जी बि वधीक वेहण जी गुंजाइश न आहे। दैट इज़ द डिफरेंस। हियर इज़ another example for the positions of to and very in phrases containing a or n. When we use a or n with very or to in phrases, we have to understand how or where will be their position, where will be their position in a sentence. It was a very difficult examination paper. This is the example, a very difficult. We can use a before very, as we use here in number 3 example. There was a very large attendance. Similarly, it was a very difficult examination paper. यो तमाम मुश्किल इम्तिहानी पेपर हुयो. Here is another example. It was too difficult an examination paper. It means जॾहिं असां टू इस्तेमालु कंदासीं त टू जे अॻियां ए या एन रखण जी ज़रूरत कोन्हे का। टू एडवर्ब थी वियो, डिफिकल्ट एडजेक्टिव आहे जेका एडवर्ब खे एडजेक्टिव मॉडिफाई थो करे। इन खां पोइ नाउन जेको एन एग्ज़ामिनेशन आहे इन जे अॻियां एन रखी सघूं था। छो था रखूं? बिकॉज हेयर एग्ज़ामिनेशन इज़ आल्सो एडजेक्टिव, इट क्वालिफाइज नाउन पेपर। सो अ वेरी इट कैनॉट बी यूज़, इहो असां ईअं इस्तेमालु नथा करे सघूं। इट वॉज वेरी अ डिफिकल्ट एग्ज़ामिनेशन नथा करे सघूं। इट वॉज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट यानी वेरी जे अॻियां आर्टिकल ए पवंदो, टू जे अॻियां आर्टिकल न पवंदो। दैट इज़ द स्ट्रक्चर वी हैव टू रिमेंबर। पर एन एग्ज़ामिनेशन पेपर असां एन एग्ज़ामिनेशन जे अॻियां एन रखियो आहे छाकाणि जो एग्ज़ामिनेशन हिते एडजेक्टिव आहे, एडजेक्टिव जे अॻियां इस्तेमालु थींदो ऐं हिते असांजो एडवर्ब वेरी आहे, वेरी डिफिकल्ट एडजेक्टिव खे मॉडिफाई थो करे। सो नाउ वी move forward. Here is further examples related to the topic. Number 4 point. Here is usage of far with to. Far we use the preposition far. Here is far. The car in front was going too fast for us to overtake it. Far and infinitive. The usage of far and infinitive with to. With to. We can learn in this way. Far, usage of far and infinitive with to. The car in front was going too fast for us to overtake it. हाँ ही अब असां खां कार जेको आहे तमामु तेज़ वञी रही हुई ओवरटेक करण खां. It means we could not overtake the car. The car was going so fast. असां रिमूव टू बि कंदा आहियूं. The car was going so fast that we could not overtake it. इन जो रिमूव टू ईअं थियणु घुरिजे. ॾिसो, the car in front was going so fast. Too fast जे मतलब जी जगह ते so fast that here is a for us. We have to convert us into subject case we. That we, here is a was. That is why we could not, we must write. We could not overtake it. We could not overtake it. Another example can be into passive voice. It could not be overtaken by us. It could not be overtaken by us. असां ईअं बि करे सघूं था. हितां we could not overtake it simply असां कयोसीं, पर infinitive जी passive कंदो त it could not be overtaken by us. पोइ असांजो ईअं थींदो structure. Here's number 5. He was too ill to write a letter. He was too ill to write a letter. It means he was so ill that he could not write a letter. That is simple usage and it's removed. Here's number 6. That cupboard is too heavy for only 2 men to lift. Here is also infinitive. Here is too adverb. Here is heavy adjective. Here is usage of for. हाणे असां हिन खे बाबा इंफिनेटिव खे कीअं पैसिव में करे सघूं था. पैसिव स्ट्रक्चर बि आहे. दैट कपबोर्ड इज़ टू हैवी टू बी लिफ्टेड बाय ओनली 2 men. टू बी लिफ्टेड बाय ओनली 2 men. नाउ आई कम इन टू द रिमूव टू. सपोज जेकॾहिं मां तव्हांखे चवां हिन खे रिमूव टू कयो नंबर 6 खे, त रिमूव टू कीअं कंदासीं. दैट कपबोर्ड इज़ सो हैवी दैट it cannot be lifted by only 2 men. ईअं थींदो. That cupboard is here is so heavy that it, we have to use it. It cannot be. Cannot छो था रखूं इस जे करे. It cannot be lifted. That is the passive structure of to lift. To lift means to be lifted, we can say, or be lifted. It cannot be lifted by only 2 men. Here is by only 2 men. By only 2 men. So this is also the passive structure here written, but here is remove. Here is 2 is not removed, but if we can remove it, it can be in this way as I said. Number 3 note the use of for in these examples. हेठियां जेके examples आहिनि उन में तव्हां for खे सम्झो त for जो इस्तेमाल बि to सां कीअं थो थिए. The hat was too big for him. त हाणे जेको for आहे preposition, it shows that he could not wear it because that hat was large enough. That was large enough. Suppose हाणे इहो फार आहे. हाणे हिन खे असां रिमूव टू कीअं कयूं. The hat was so big that he could not put on it. Here is example. I am going to remove to. The hat was so big that him we have to convert into subject he, and there is was, that is why could not. Past potential we have to write down. Helping verb past potential. He could not put on it. Put on or wear we can use because there is the sense of wearing. The hat was too big for him. He could not wear it. Here's another example. A large car would be too expensive for us. हिक वॾी कार असांजे लाइ तमामु घणी महांगी थींदी. It means we cannot purchase a large car or we could not purchase a large car. A large car would be so expensive that we could not purchase it. That is the another remote example. A large car would be so expensive that we could not purchase it. It means far is a producing example of excessiveness. The questions were too difficult for Ali. It means the questions were so difficult that Ali could not answer them. That is remote, and that is structure of to with the for. How we can use the example of to with the for, usage of to with the for. In this way we have to learn it, and I hope you got it properly. So here I sum up my topic and see you in the next topic, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.